Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be talking about a weekend bounce for Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and other cryptos. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You get notified when the videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And on Sunday morning, we're looking at 8.45 cents for Doge. We came up overnight and came up and touched 8.6. So there's a target back up to 9 cents that I still have on a bounce that we talked about on Friday, and that appears to start to be playing out. Again, these things could just keep going down, 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 down. There's always a bounce in a bear market, and it looks like we're starting to see the beginnings of one here. Bitcoin is at 62.6. Bitcoin came up overnight and touched 63,000 right here, and I'm expecting higher on a bit of a relief rally on a Sunday. So a bit of recovery. We talked about recovery. Again, Friday was like recovery, like, oh, everything's good, everything's bad. So here we had Friday, of course, June 5th, as Chris had predicted, would not be a good day, and it wasn't. That was across all equities, included gold, silver, and stocks. Not a good day on Friday. We'll be watching how stocks recover on Monday, or whether it's a black Monday like Peter Schiff was calling. I don't think it's going to be. I'm much more optimistic about stocks on Monday, but that is something to talk about tomorrow. For today, we did have Bitcoin come down to 59,120. That was the low that we had during the live stream on Friday, is when that hit. And I've got a big yellow circle here to identify this. Bitcoin came back and retested sub 60,000 here in orange. It's interesting that Dogecoin did the opposite. Dogecoin first just touched under 8 cents, came back up, but then early Saturday morning had a bigger event, which is the yellow circle here, all the way down to 7.77. Now, 777 is a number that we've been talking about on the live streams, and Dogecoin did touch it here early Saturday morning. But here we are looking at a bounce, at a bit of a recovery. And we can look at other ETH here, back up and touched over 1640, which is that blue line. This is the long ascending support line that ETH has been following for a long time. And we go to the weekly and we can see ETH's line here all the way from back in 2022, and this is ETH's line. So ETH has touched below and have come back and retested as resistance on Ethereum. So again, it's just a point of reference to look at as we're exploring, is there any meat behind this bounce here that we're looking at. And we'll look at some others as well. We start with the Bitcoin prints 8 green 2-hourly candles in a row. That's what we call a big bounce, according to Crypto Rover. So we got this big bounce, and this is a consistent move up for Bitcoin to 62,666. Now Bitcoin has since slowed down a bit, and is kind of going sideways since Rover printed that move up. So a bit sideways since then, as crypto says. Again, crypto bouncing back after a brutal week of selling. Bitcoin back above 62, ETH back above 1,600. Over $116 billion added back to the crypto market today. So it looks like not only do we have the quieting down on the big flush of long leverage trades, I think they're getting some shorts though. They are taking out shorts. Again, on the Monday live stream, we'll look at the heat maps and we'll see where all of that trading is right now. But right now, I just want to focus on where the prices are. And Symbiote said we're in the final BTC bottom zone right now, with chances to max hit 48 to 50K lowest target, which is the target. I mean, that's what we've been looking at as well. We look at Bitcoin and we turn on our averages here, our moving averages, and we're looking to see again whether on these are weekly averages that we're looking at to see where Bitcoin would eventually end up. We breached the 200-week moving average. Here's the 300-week moving average down here at 53,900. So that's where we would go. But in order to get there, as we talked about on Friday, Bitcoin most likely is going to see a bit of a bounce back up. And when Bitcoin bounces back up, you get people thinking, oh, that was the dip, that was it. If you didn't buy then, you're not going to have another opportunity. Well, I think there's going to be more opportunities. It's a long summer. We've got July, August, September to go. And we could see Bitcoin rally back up to 69K. We could see Dogecoin rally back up to 9 cents. 9 cents is a target for Dogecoin. And maybe Bitcoin only gets up like 65, 60. Well, that's what we're going to be watching right now. That is a bit of, I don't think it's going to come back over 74K. Just for fair value mark or retest the $80,000 highs we were at now. Ted Pillow says 60% of this Bitcoin move is spot driven. The rest are due to new longs opening. Traders are expecting some bounce back after brutal selling. So we do have this buildup of more long leverage trades as there is a recovery, as Bitcoin is grinding back up in price, because traders are going to be traders and gamblers, and eventually they're going to get wiped out when Bitcoin most likely comes back down, because that's out there. And then you get guys like Ali saying, rebound incoming, the TD sequential just flashed a buy signal on ETH. Well, I'm sure it's probably flashing buy signals on almost everything now. But again, the time to buy is during the capitulation event. Now you're chasing. And always be careful chasing price up during a bear market and during the summer months, because then you end up bag holding for a while. Now, it's probably still a good price. Buying Bitcoin at 62.6 is a lot better than buying up at 80,000 or 75,000 where we were. And the same with Dogecoin at 8.5 cents, much better than buying up in the 11s and 10s and 9s. And Chris wasn't buying there. Chris bought here. On Wednesday, again, Chris should have done what he said, right? Which was waiting for June 5th and the big capitulation, which eventually happened. But there was so much liquidation going on here that I couldn't resist buying there. So it's a good buy. It's still a good buy. CryptoJack says even on Solana, right? Solana was grinding down, and just broke out of that grind down. Now, Solana eventually is going to find a level here, 67, 70, somewhere around there, and it's going to probably start grinding down again. So if you don't want to bag hold too long, which Chris is going to be for a bit of the summer, but I don't know. I still think Dogecoin will recover to 9 cents. We have an extreme fear for Dogecoin. This is the Dogecoin Fear and Greed Index. Doge is back down to 15 extreme fear. By the end of Sunday, it's going to be back up a little bit. Maybe it's back in the fear zone and it's out of extreme fear. We'll see how that looks. But there is some recovery going. And overall, on the Dogecoin chart, again, going back long time, back to 2017, its own long upward sloping support line, and this is on a logarithmic chart because it doesn't really look like this on regular spot chart. But we did have the capitulation. We're now at 8.45. We did have the capitulation down. Right? We touched 7.9 and came back up. So on a monthly chart, this is a wick. It's just a wick, and now we got the body back up, which we had back here. In 2020, we had a wick below and came back up. So will Dogecoin continue to grind up along this like we had back in 2020, leading into the big run? This is what a lot of people are going to be looking at right now on crypto Twitter, is going to be this exact thing in 2020 and what happened leading up to Dogecoin's most historic run up to 73 cents. So this is the setup in 2026 that is happening. Very similar to what happened in 2020. Now, that big wick down was COVID. That was the pandemic. That was the big wick that everything had, including Bitcoin and everything else. And that was Dogecoin's wick. Today it was yesterday was a liquidation event. We can blame all kinds of different things going from Michael Saylor, the ETF selling the rotation into AI and tech stocks, and what's happening with Iran, still this uncertainty, the price of oil up, go through all of the other economic indicators which are flashing red and are bad. But that was, again, there's always reasons for things, but the charts do tend to repeat. I kind of think this isn't going to be quite the same event as we had in 2020 leading into 2021. I think that we're going to be going sideways more. We'll have a bit of relief rally, and I think we're going to come back down and retest and maybe go lower through the summer. We got a long summer to go. But again, just pointing back to 2020 and what happened here, it's charts, and if charts are going to repeat, there's a good one for Doge, showing instead going higher with bits of dips, which is why I say always look for those dips for buying opportunities, and we'll see how that plays out. For now, 8.45 cent Doge, we've got 62.6 Bitcoin on a bit of a relief rally here. So let me turn those moving averages off. You can see better of what's happening on the hourly chart with those prices. So that's where we are right now on a Sunday recovery bounce day. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this Sunday? And do you believe it? Do you trust it? And how are we going to look going into Monday? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.